What's up, YouTube? Brendan from Market Makers. I made my video, and then of course price had to drop some, so I'm remaking the video for you guys. If you appreciate that, go ahead and smash the like button for me, and of course subscribe to the channel if you have not done that already. Let's jump right into Bitcoin price action. I was zooming out, looking at some shapes. We were talking about this in the room as well. Could we have some type of falling wedge pattern here? We could. We're on the daily time frame looking at this. We're going to get into the 4 hour so we can see the current support structure with the drop. But we could have some type of falling wedge pattern here. These do have a bias to break to the upside. Bias changes a little bit if you're in a downtrend, uptrend, and you form a falling wedge. But it's just something to keep in mind. So this does break to the upside roughly 2/3 of the time. We were tracking this and trading triangles and Forex like 20 years ago. A lot of books on it too. I think obviously Bukowski has a falling wedge pattern in his Encyclopedia Chart Patterns book. If you don't have that book, it's a really good book. And so is Surrey Dudella's Trade Chart Patterns like the pros. Let's look at our fib time. Remember this? We were doing our fib time, and we're going to get into the TA because we hit our pivot. So we're going to look at this in a 4 hour time frame so you can see the candle structures a little bit better. 4 hour time frame will show us a little bit more dramatic drop here, but we did hit our pivot and we fell about 3,000 points. So that was the pivot. We were expecting a drop. Let's go ahead and go to the 4 hour time frame. We were expecting a drop for the next wave. The problem is this drop swept our previous higher low, okay? Not by much, like $100 on my exchange. Does that matter? Well, I mean, from a technical standpoint, yes, but Bitcoin's so volatile. Does $100 make a difference on a $37,000 asset? I don't know. I mean, bottom line is if this comes back up, makes yet another shallower wave, I think the pattern's still on track. If it doesn't and we lose key supports, then that's very bearish, okay? So let's look at our support structure that we have here. Previously, we had the fib laid out for the upside, so we can go ahead and do that really quickly. Trend-based fib. Go from our base down here. It's just one way to do it. And you can see we hit the 618 wicks. We never got above it. We never got above our red trend line here, which is 38.9. We got wicks above it. We couldn't get candle closes above it here in the 4 hour time frame. You see the 0.5 fib. We fell below it, retested it, and then fell, okay? And we lost to 382. You can lay your fibs out different ways for confluence. This is just an upside projection I'm looking at. And we can also do this from up higher up, but that doesn't matter. We need to look at the downside projection. So downside, let's go ahead and grab this and this at the wave just before it, get some projections. Yeah, so I mean, if you look at this, we held the 382 perfectly on this drop, okay? This is what we needed price to do. To complete this pattern, to have this pattern going, we need it. Remember this pattern here. Let me draw it with a path. This compression pattern is quite simply this, right? Price comes up, tests the ceiling, right? Comes back down, makes a higher low. Comes up, tests the ceiling, comes back down. Now we wanted it to end here, then come back up again, okay? You can see this in the drawing, series of higher lows. This is bullish, this is a volatility compression pattern, and of course these waves would, in a perfect pattern, be decreasing and be decreasing with the candle spread, okay? You'd want them closer and closer together. Well, because we just surpassed this second higher low here, again, that's not a bullish thing, but it wasn't by much. But, we did form a bearish pattern doing this as well. You need to be aware of that. Let me go ahead and show you this. We did form a triple top. You see this? You have a triple top type formation. And basically your 618 is your neckline. You see this? Your 618. It's a shared common line between all three of these tops. You could also just say it's a double top, but you do have a triple top here. So you have a 618 here. If you lose this 618, are there supports beneath you? Yeah, there are. But you have a bias to come test the one fib at 35,384. Okay, I think that's confluent with our weekly pattern, 34,914. Yeah, within a few $100s of each other. So you do have a bias. You need to be aware of that. Now you got a really nice demand wick right here. You got a nice demand wick. Price got bought back up. You're back above the 0.5. So again, this just could be a rogue candle, and you could be on your way back up to make a shallower wave. Come test it again. Maybe you get another wave. There's no count. You can go up to 5 on these things. I mean, I guess you can. I've never seen one have more than 5. Typically, you get about 3. So you could say this is technically First wave, second wave, this is the third wave, and this would be the fourth wave coming up. So we could break through there, we could get rejected again and fall even harder. So we have to look at this and watch it and pay attention to it. What I'm really curious about though is, did we blow out our volatility? First, let's check our moving averages. Let's see what our resistance is. Let's start in the middle. Let's throw a 34 on there. Well, that's not good. We're below the 34. So we know everything else, the 55, everything's above us. So what about the 21? The 21 is above us. Everything's above us. Everything's going to be above us. We'll throw the 55 on there. Visual imagery. Okay, so we got a lot of resistance now. Because we fell, we have a lot of resistance now, but how did that affect our volatility? Because remember, volatility is the measurement, essentially the separation of candles, okay? And we want the volatility to be green for us. Let's check our, where's our VAMA? There it is. Volatility moving averages. They're still beneath us. They're still green, so that's good. Let's check the caterpillar. See if we expanded the caterpillar or if it's still tightening. Well, this is good and bad. It's still tightening. You can see this here at the bottleneck, but we're below the median line. Remember, you don't want to be below the median line if this tightens for a move, because that bias could be to the downside. Now, you could be forming on a smaller time frame, maybe some type of bull flag or something, but just keep that in mind. You want to be, in general, you want to be above it for a move up, right? This is the median line in the trend, so you want to be above it. If you come down here and you stay down in this area, this is dangerous because that move could be down. Of course, you could always spring up, but that move could be down. Just something to pay attention to. Yeah. The price action was pretty weak, and we're in a downtrend. We've been in a downtrend for a long time. So I think it's what, 86 days now or something, 88 days, 87 days. I have to check it, but it's been a long time, the downtrend. We're in a short, shallow uptrend, but it was a nice uptrend, and we can view this too with our. Let me throw my trend channels on here. Got a nice 45. We're holding that angle. I mean, this is like I said, this is all still bullish. You'll see that it's still bullish if you look at the correct indicators. Let me throw my ALMA on here, my Arno moving average. You can see we came down and tested it, right? We came down, wick through it. So this is still green. We're still in a green uptrend. We're still making higher lows from our base here. We did lose this previous higher low by like $100. Again, not sure how much that will affect it, grand scheme of things, but it is something to be aware of. Let's look at a Keltner channel, another DW product. See if we get the same type of tightening in this. Yeah, not as significant. You're not seeing it. You want it more tight like this. But this blew it out a little bit. You can see it expanded just slightly from this move. So this is chop, guys. The next pivot date I'm looking at is February 4th. So February 4th is Friday. Let's see what happens on Friday, because I don't think this is going much of anywhere. I think we have pretty defined support and resistance areas. Are not the most fun videos I know for you guys to watch or for me to make, but it's just sideways chop. It's part of being an accumulation, and we need to hold key support levels, which right now is a 618 at 36,673, because if we do not hold that, then that is bearish, because you're going to be coming back down and sweeping these previous higher lows that Bitcoin worked really hard to make. But right now you got a nice demand wick and you're holding the 0.5 fib. All these events are all tradable as well. We got lots of people trading these in our room. A lot of these moves are predictable when you understand the price movements. So guys, if you like this stuff, come check out our room. Check out our sponsor for sure, BITGET. They're awesome. It's my favorite exchange. I've traded on probably 5 or 6 of them. And no VPN, no KYC. Anybody in the world can trade there. Lots of countries are passing new laws. So check out BITGET, because I think you'll appreciate being anonymous. Check out my Pro Trades video as well. I'll put that out a little bit later this evening when I catch up more on the news. And that'll be out there for you guys as well. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic evening.